Hello, and welcome to Cyberpunk Tales from the Oasis, Episode 2, The Arrival. The roads leading to the Oasis are dangerous, and in the last episode, our luxury transport vehicle only narrowly avoided a serious confrontation with would-be hijackers. The intrigue around this Oasis place continues to mount as the party sets off on the last leg of their journey. What awaits them at their destination? Find out in this episode of Tales from the Oasis, titled The Arrival. At this point, the vehicle that you're in, it took a while to get it up to speed again, but you're back up to about 20 to 30 miles an hour. And the air support has come back to continue escorting you to the Oasis. As you drive away, Brandon looks over, who has been sitting kind of quietly and was mostly hiding behind Mavis during that interaction, looks back and says, "Are all of the raiders in the wasteland like this? Just lying, duplicitous pieces of shit?"
It's true.
You take the good with the bad.
Look, kid, I've been on this road for a long time. Gotta do what you gotta do. If you lie, cheat, steal, if it gives you another meal in your belly, then that's what you gotta do, you know?
Huh.
Brandon, I have to tell you something. It's pronounced duplicitous.
What? No, really? I've only ever seen it in writing.
It's duplicitous, I promise.
Say, don't you make fun of the way the boy pronounces things. You know, if you hear someone mispronounce a word, that's probably because they learned it by reading. Ain't that right, Brandon? You got your head in those,
screen sheets.
What? Screen sheets. That's the screen sheets. Hey, you remember.
I've got my heads in all of the deep learning schooling opportunities that are available for any young person of my age and caliber. He says, and clearly not in his own voice.
As well you should.
So, you continue on to the Oasis, and as you leave the stranded vehicle behind you, you begin to see the edges of buildings rising up out of the desert. You recognize these as the tops of buildings, not the sides of buildings, like I just said. The tops of these glittering buildings begin rising up out of the desert as you head closer and closer to the Oasis. And everyone in the car is kind of struck a little bit because while you had the idea that you were going to like a new place that wasn't Night City, and so, you know, your expectations weren't very high, these look really nice. Like, there's a lot of these skyscrapers, and they take out a pretty decent section of the horizon. And as you approach, you see signs of life. You see drones flying around and little small aero vehicles that are sweeping people from place to place, like taxis or personal vehicles. The Oasis seems like a lot more of a bustling hub than you would have expected, especially considering how difficult it was to get information on the place. The second thing that you notice after, the glittering skyline is that as you get closer and closer to the Oasis, there is a long line of vehicles that are stopped basically in like a traffic pattern in front of these just gigantic looking, not necessarily a gate, but like gigantic turret sections that line both sides of the roads. There's a big line of cars, probably about 10 or 15 cars that you can kind of see off in the distance. Mavis, you probably like bring your sniper rifle up so you can peer in the distance and see that these cars are all full of people. They're all just kind of sitting there waiting.
Well, I'll be damned. I gotta admit, I wasn't even sure it was real.
Well, considering I spent all my money to get here, I'm very happy that it is.
Reed, at this point, you have gotten some word from your eyes in the sky that they're being hailed by the Oasis. They're basically being asked to explain, like, who are you? What are you doing here? You're not authorized to be in this airspace. And asking you how to respond.
Just explain that you were accompanying a caravan and you probably want to return to the Zephyr. Also, tell Roman about that fucking goddamn... I fucking can't remember what the name of it is.
The Yellow Jackets?
Yeah, tell Roman about the fucking Yellow Jackets.
Which was the nomad group that ended up hijacking the caravan.
I'll be back later. Out.
Pilot say, "Hey, boss, we'll let them know." After a minute or so of them talking to the Oasis, your air support begins flying away and heading back towards the direction that you know the Zephyr to be, but the rest of the people just fly off in a direction. The edge of the line of cars is quickly approaching, and you begin slowing down the vehicle in preparation, since you don't really know how well the brakes are going to work. And kind of just coast the vehicle in and skid it a little bit, and then finally just get in line behind these 10 or 15 cars that are waiting to get into the Oasis.
Do you think this is a fast line? How long have they been here?
Brandon begins looking out the window and he goes, Are you sure it's safe for us to be out here? We're still technically in the wastelands, aren't we?
Nowhere is safe, Brandon.
Hey, see those turrets?
Yeah, I think I can.
They could take out a fucking AV4 from 2 miles away.
Oof.
You're safe.
I pull up next to Reed and knock on the window.
He just tuts and rolls it down.
Hey Reed, you got those influencer prio passes? Can we just skip this queue? You know, like we usually do?
No, I think they blew up. We're gonna have to explain it.
We have to wait?
Do you not know how to wait for things, Aso?
Settle in.
Hey, if you want to go explain to
Are you for real? I don't wait. This is new to me. Queues don't exist.
The seats in this car are comfy once you brush off all the broken glass.
And little bits of brain matter. I mean, there's a...
I find little pieces of ladies sometimes. It's, you get used to it.
Look, fucking medias.
Oh boy.
He just stands up, disconnects from the car, because it's probably going to take a little while.
Mm-hmm.
If you want, I'll help strap that bike to the roof, and you can have a fucking nap in the car or something.
This is gonna be a long wait.
I don't know. I've never fucking been here before. But if it's anything like Night City...
Ah, fuck. Well, at least I got some cool footage for my intro, for the Oasis series.
Look, streamer man, maybe you could just walk to the front? You could see if they would let us in early.
Or even ask the people up front, just, the car ahead of us.
Maybe if we're lucky, they shoot you in the head for asking.
I'm gonna disregard the last bit, but that's a good idea.
Reed, are you helping ISO mount the motorcycles at the top of the vehicle?
Yeah, if ISO wants to, then I will just carry this onto the boots.
Ah, thanks, Reed.
Just strap it down with a couple of rubber straps or whatever.
So you leave the car idling and get out and begin strapping the motorbike to the roof of the vehicle. It takes, another 5 or 6 minutes.
Is anything moving?
Not yet.
Has anyone camped out? Does it look like a line, or does it look like the line to a folk festival?
Famous camping stools.
It's not the entrance to Coachella, no. People are mostly confined to their vehicles, though there are a couple of folks that are standing outside that look like they're playing some sort of AR game. They're just kind of shooting at nothing and, moving, and they're playing some sort of weird VR AR game while they appear to be waiting. You strap the motorbike to the vehicle and go and get back in with everybody else as ISO comes and joins you and scoots in next to Brandon and just sort of gets a little bit of blood and stuff and bone chunks on his hands, which he kind of wipes off. Ugh. And Reed, you go to plug back into the car. You plug in, but the neural interface doesn't connect for some reason.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, he tries to plug in again.
You turn it off and turn it back on again.
blow in the ports.
Reed, try flipping the connector.
There's a fucking new port too. Shit.
Did the car give up ghost?
You press the button. It doesn't seem like it wants to start up. It's still in emergency mode, though.
Oh, it's fucking dead.
Well, I'm not surprised.
You think they got tow trucks up at the Oasis?
You plug yourself back in, and this time, for some reason, it works. And you get the emergency interface, which basically informs you that the vehicle has overheated. You can bypass this restriction and still turn it on, but it warns you that your warranty is voided and serious death or injury could occur if you bypass the override.
Well, if everything starts moving, he'll start the bypass override thing, but...
What about that serious death or injury, Reed? There's been no serious death or injury so far!
That was not communicated to you, Mavis.
Okay.
That was not communicated to you. You don't know that.
The thing with Reed is that, he's spent his entire fucking life ignoring those warnings. He doesn't care about fucking warranty. He'll fucking fix it himself.
Does this car run on hydro or on chew?
What are the differences again? To remind our listeners...
Hydro is hydrogen fuel.
Hydrogen or Chew2, which is ethanol.
Chew2 is super ethanol.
Yeah, so this runs on Chew2.
Well, I kind of figured it was running on hopes and dreams.
Mostly because it makes faster cars that can go longer distances.
So most cars are Chew2.
All right, so after, another 30 or 45 minutes of just kind of sitting here, Brandon's starting to get kind of bored, and he flips on his little headset and begins browsing around the local intranet. The vehicle in front of you begins to move.
Brandon, can you find any information on Oasis from here?
He says, I'm I'm checking, but there's something weird. The local intranet, it doesn't conform to any of my normal security expectations. It's using some sort of weird type of encryption. I'm working on breaking it, but I don't know. This might take a while.
Ooh, exotic technologies.
Once you do, pass me the Wi-Fi key code, because I need to do some uploading.
I'll let you know, I guess, whenever I get it. Reed, at this point, you bypassed the thermal override and started the vehicle up again. It doesn't sound great, but the car lurches ahead just a little bit further.
If it works, it works. It just needs to get us into the city, then whatever.
As you lurch forward a little bit, the car begins automatically going through its diagnostic system, as it does every time it starts, and flags a whole bunch of errors that begin popping up. And then a big error pops up that says, "Vehicle is not safe to drive. Contacting owner."
Okay.
Just so you know.
Does, like, a fucking phone start ringing, or...?
Nope. It just gives you the warning.
Fair enough.
Who even owns this thing?
Hey, this thing's after its owner. Do you know who fucking hired you?
This caravan belonged to... It came from Oasis originally, right? Or am I getting this backwards?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a fucking Oasis caravan, but I don't
Well,
know who it belongs to.
the owner's probably on the other side of that. And I point towards the gate.
As you point towards the gate, everyone looks, and you see 5 or 6 heavily armored vehicles speeding your direction with gigantic sirens. Wee-oo, wee-oo, and someone on a megaphone, "Get the fuck out of the way!
Oh, I think he's here.
Oasis security coming through!"
Okay, turn the fucking car off. Hands out of the car window already.
Yeah, I step out of the car with my hands up.
I follow suit, because if she's scared, then I'm scared.
I think we found the owners.
I'm confused, but I'll follow.
6 armored vehicles pull up and basically do a semicircle around you, preventing you from being able to back up and leave. And on cue, with almost perfect synchronicity, each window drops down, and several police officers, basically, or what look like police officers, are dressed in uniforms. They've got big-ass guns. They lean out the side, all in perfect synchronicity, and you hear over the megaphone, "Please get back in the vehicle and turn over automatic control to Oasis security."
Oh, okay.
Consider it done.
Yep.
Okay.
I settled back into the vehicle with my hands up.
I go back in the vehicle as well.
Brandon pulls his headset off and goes, "What the fuck is going on?"
Put your headset back on, kiddo. You don't want to see any of these.
He looks left and right and then looks over at Mavis
Just give him a little thumbs up.
and he slowly slides the headset back on and just sort of sits back and goes, "Okay, anyway," and sort of tunes himself out to the world. Reed, you get back in the vehicle, press a couple of buttons, and disconnect yourself from the car steering control. Immediately, the car lurches to life, and all the different cop cars kind of simultaneously back up and begin heading down the center of this lane towards the Oasis. The car kind of jerks and sputters a little bit, and then backs up, and then goes forward and sort of following the police cars, and then goes and just slams into the car right next to it that's waiting in line for the Oasis, maybe 3 cars ahead of you.
Reed, what are you doing?
They're fucking driving, mate.
The cop cars in front of you all sort of pause for a second as the car begins flashing additional warnings. It sort of tries to scrape and move itself away from the vehicle before pausing. There's about a 15-second pause before you hear over the megaphone, "Attention occupant of the vehicle, please regain manual control of vehicle and follow us."
Reed does that. He doesn't even bother plugging in. He's on the fucking wheel with one hand and just has a fucking middle finger out the other.
Okay. There's just kind of all sorts of different warnings and stuff popping up. And whenever it notices you're not plugged in, it begins holographically displaying them in front of you. You just kind of brush them out of the way and slowly begin inching the vehicle forward with your hands gripped tightly on the steering wheel, trying to keep it from jerking in one way or the other. As you follow this police escort past this gigantic line of cars and to the front gates of the Oasis.
I lean forward next to Reed and say, "Told you what Prio passes."
I wouldn't be so sure of that, mate.
Well, we are skipping the line, but...
I think we're getting arrested.
The police escort brings you past where they're clearly searching the vehicles. There's several police officers pointing guns and basically just strip searching this car, while several very annoyed looking corpo type people are sitting there on a bench with their arms crossed and either playing with little data pads or just looking generally very annoyed as the police flip their car inside and out. You're escorted past all of this, though. Someone waves you through, and the 6 or so police cars lead you to this, basically like off to the side, a secondary detainment location, as you see on the signs. And they park their vehicles on both sides and then one on the front and the back, basically to keep you from being able to escape. Turn off the vehicle and step out of the car!
Yeah, that's what he does.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
I can do that.
Just gonna tap Brandon on the shoulder and be like, buddy?
Are we there yet?
Yeah, I think we're about there. We might have some customs to go through. Just stick close to me, all right?
I can't I just want to see my dad.
I know, buddy, I know. We'll get you there.
You all step out of the vehicle
So
and...
before I get out,
Yes.
I turn on an audio recorder just in case.
All right. You all step out of the vehicle and are immediately set upon by police officers who, everyone except for Brandon, they're rather rough with you. They grab your hands and stick them behind your back, put synth plastic cuffs on the back, begin leading you away, and one of them turns towards Reed, who he's leading away first, says, "So, just thought you could boost a official Oasis car, huh? Thought we wouldn't notice? Maybe you thought you could sneak in.
This is an official Oasis fucking caravan.
What happened to the real owner, huh? Did you have to kill him?"
He
And he fucking blew
exploded!
up.
I got footage of that.
Roll a persuasion roll, Reed.
Persuasion.
It's really not necessary to have this kind of treatment.
Oh,
Critical failure. You say your thing of like this being an official Oasis caravan, and the police officer stops you, turns towards you, and then just backhands your face. Says, "Did I tell you to fucking speak?"
God, I am.
Reed just has this fucking shit-eating grin and just spits blood on the floor. I can't wait to talk to your boss about this.
You are dragged away into a side building where you're escorted rather roughly into medium to maximum security holding cells. You're all dumped kind of unceremoniously in the same holding cell, with Brandon being escorted to a different location.
Bye, Brandon.
When he's separated off, I kind of like don't really like that. Hey, where are you taking him? He needs to find his father. Father?
Needs to find his father.
He needs to find his father. Father? I still can't say it. Never mind. He needs to find his paw.
There we go. There we go.
His paw.
Daddy is also good.
Oh, I don't use that word outside of bed.
The officer says, "Oh, don't worry. When we're done with you, we'll figure out exactly how to get this scab back to his paw."
What? No, his paw lives here.
We were invited to Oasis. This is why we are come here.
The heavy metal door slams as all the police officers exit the room. You're left in this holding cell that is heavily monitored. There's multiple cameras from multiple viewpoints. ISO, you realize at this point that if you could get access to some of these, you might make some very good footage because you could have multiple camera angles and cool shots of this.
Very impressive camera setup.
Are we
here.
still like handcuffed? Or did we take him off?
You're all still handcuffed.
Okay, Reed is gonna use his rippers to cut the handcuffs
Oh,
off.
damn.
Your rippers?
Yeah, he's got like, they're basically like fucking wolf claws rather than Wolverine style schnick claws.
Dope. Okay. How do they extend from your arm?
It's like sort of from the fingertips. They just sort of push through the fake skin.
So with a shink, your knives come out of your fingers and you quickly slice these synth plastic handcuffs to ribbons and then do the same for the rest of your party.
Ugh.
You're all freed, and it's at this point you notice that they didn't actually take any of your guns or cyberware away.
I pull out my agent and make sure to make a backup of my video footage.
Good point.
I'm gonna shy away while you're cutting cuffs. I don't really want to get on the wrong side of the authorities in Oasis having just arrived.
Look, they gave you your fucking gun. They clearly don't really give a shit.
Can I see if there's a blind spot with the cameras in here at all?
Ah, yes you can. I would like you to make a tactics check. There are some spots where you think if you turned, you might be able to get a blind spot, but honestly, you can't really tell. And you know this.
Yeah,
They really got these cameras lined up pretty decent.
don't disagree.
Thank you for listening. This has been episode 2 of Tales from the Oasis. We are an actual play podcast set in a brand new cyberpunk setting, The Oasis. If you'd like to learn more or get involved, please check out our website at talesfromtheoasis.com, or, if you're able, consider throwing a few Eurobucks our way at patreon.com/talesfromtheoasis. We are a completely listener-supported podcast, so even just a little bit helps offset server costs and production expenses. Paid subscribers also get exclusive access to bonus content and episodes, as well as fun ways to influence the story, so continue subscribing today. And now, a word from the Oasis Advertising Network.
Hi there, I'm Scott Young, owner of Scott Young's Discount Cybernetics. I drank too much last night and I woke up with a strange chip in my head. Now I'm slashing our prices so low, people think I'm crazy.
Sir, you aren't crazy. That's just a side effect of the rogue chip. I'm gonna need you to sit still for your
Sorry, Doc, I just can't do that. I'm literally shaking with excitement. We have deals on internal and external cyberware. From cyber optics to cyber limbs, everything is discounted for a limited time only.
I think we're gonna need some more muscle in here. Charles, you better call your solo friend and get him over here right away.
Call all your friends and tell them about Scott Young's Discount Cybernetics.
Scott Young's Discount Cybernetics.
If you bring in a friend and they spend more than 100 eddies, we'll give you an additional 20% off your purchase.
Error. Prices are too low.
Activate Administrator Override.
Enter administrator password.
Save big money now at Scott Young's Discount Cybernetics.
Password accepted.
Scott Young's Discount Cybernetics.
Do you have bad credits, low credits, or no credits? That's no problem. With our patented leash-to-own system, you can get anything in our store for only 10% down.
Hey there, what seems to be the issue, Doc? I need you to help me hold this patient down. Sir, Mr. Young, do you know where you are right now? We need you to answer some questions about the accident. Where were you?
Where can you get all these great deals? We're located right outside Blue Section B, next to Held number 6. Stop by for a great deal and we'll give you a coupon for a drink next door for free.
He seems to be delusional. Hand me that syringe. Sir, can you hear me? You've been implanted with a hostile personality modification chip, and you may be experiencing strange impulses or auditory hallucinations. Do you feel any different?
No, I feel totally fine. I feel fine. Where am I? What's going on?
Don't worry, Scott. We're here to help. Do you remember who attacked you? What they looked like, or what they wanted?
It all happened so fast, I don't remember.
That's okay. We'll just run some diagnostics and see what's going on in there. It's as I feared. This chip seems to be modifying your brain chemistry, causing you to act erratically.
Oh no, I didn't hurt anyone, did I?
No. So far, it just seems to have caused you to offer amazing deals on your wide selection of inventory. If too many people took advantage of these incredible deals, you'd be out of business in minutes.
Well, shit, that's not good. How long's it gonna take to remove?
Well, it looks like it's embedded into your spinal column and has taken over some of your cybernetic systems. We're gonna have to remove the affected parts to completely eradicate the virus. Charles, do we have an AudioVox cyberware component on hand?
Sorry, boss. We just sold the last one to that blue-haired Chumbina that came in.
Fuck. Where in the hell could we possibly find a cheap AudioVox cyberware that's available right now?
I know just the place!
Scott Young's Discount Cybernetics, located outside Blue Section B, next to Hell number 6. Lease to own financing based on prior approval and background check. Financing may require installation of monitoring software or hardware at the discretion of the manager. Removal of monitoring hardware may cause side effects including nausea, loss of memory, intense migraines, or death. Additional restrictions may apply. See store for details.